Hello, I want to welcome you to a new video series from NATA entitled The Business Behind the Brand. I'm Eric Blinderman from Narrative Aviation Communications, and in each of these segments, we'll be talking with a NATA member that understands the power of a brand to build business, whether it's a company brand, a personal brand, or the overlapping brand. We'll dive into the definition of a brand from a variety of NATA member perspectives, giving members the tools and tips to unlock your brand and build it for your success. And that's really a big part of this series. Our goal is for you to come away from every single video that you watch with just one more, at least one more idea to build your business through the power of the brand. And today I'm pleased to be joined by somebody who I know understands the power of a brand because he's been building one today and he's been building several over his successful career. And I'm glad to also call him a former colleague and glad to call him a friend. Jiri Marousek is the president and CEO of AirTera and a fellow member of the NATA Partner Plus program, which provides members with access to individualized business resources to help you succeed. Jiri, welcome. I know that you've been on the road a little bit. Where am I catching you from today?
Eric, you actually caught me at home for once, and it's good to be here. I've
I
been
won't tell anybody at home that you're home.
exactly
Right,
for about 72 hours, and then I depart again. But that's part of the beautiful industry we're a part of.
right,
Always on the road.
right. So, Jiri, you've been building brands for a while. You're building one now with AirTera. Tell us a little bit about AirTera's history as it's been intertwined with the NATA brand, and talk about what you are doing for NATA members and for the GA community.
That's absolutely happy to. So, it's interesting. It building AirTerra and the team here and the company and the brand with it is very different than my history, right? Brand is this nebulous thing that most people associate with overpriced agencies, but it means different things to different industries and different businesses. Maybe 3 lives ago, I worked on Harley Davidson and Red Bull and Rolls-Royce. Those are the definition of brand there is a little different, and the opportunity cost of getting it wrong in the worst case is a couple of $1,000 of depreciation on a motorcycle that you have to sell because it's not the lifestyle that you want it to be. The joke back then, and it probably still survives, is we were selling a license for dentists to go out on the weekends and scare little children. Uh, the business we are in now is AirTera, which is really a combination of multiple legacy brands that have been around for 2 decades between NATA compliance services, clearly formerly a sister team to the great team at NATA, SSI, which provides our training that joined us, and SOAR, the safety management system that's built on a pretty clever AI backbone that we launched last year, all being under a single name. Our objective being, hey, we're a real boy, as I like to put it. We're a one team, one company. We needed a name to
Mhm.
pull it all together. Hence AirTera, with a slight implication that we are air to ground safety and security in aviation. You can probably piece that apart out of the name.
Yeah.
Um,
So you
but in
brought
the
up an
end,
interesting you brought up an interesting point about the brand. You ask 100 people what's the definition of brand, and you'll get 113 different answers. But from the perspective of NATA membership, the broad NATA membership, talk to us about what really is the definition of a brand. Somebody will talk about it in terms of products and services, but when someone comes to you and says, I have an MRO operation or I run an FBO, what should I know about building my brand?
uh, especially in our space, right, where you're serving, uh, we are business to business. We provide this industry some incredibly critical and trust requiring services. What 135 partners and a lot of the 135 members of NATA do, uh, they provide an experience to their passengers that the expectation is super high. But in our industry, trust is a big piece of it as well. So in our world, I would actually define brand as something a little bit different. It's not about feeling great about a logo on the back of my leather vest. It's filling the gap between trust and verify, right?
Mm.
Verify, prove. We can prove that last week we flew a G5 from Chicago to DC and we delivered our passengers successfully, right? That's verify. You can prove that, you can show that. But moving forward, there's no promise that you'll provide the same exceptional experience to the next customer that comes through the door. Just as in our case, our 135 operators and airlines and airports that work with us have to have a certain level of trust. And getting it wrong, picking a provider like ours, the repercussions is not just, hey, I'm going to throw away the Red Bull can or sell the motorcycle I don't use. The downside of getting it wrong is existential. It could crush the business. It could hurt people, right? So that's where the gap between trust and verify has to be filled in. And we need to reinforce that as a brand. With our brand and with our promise and with a level of trust that goes a little bit beyond the fact that, yeah, we did a great job last week, last year. We had the back of every operator that works with us up until this point. But are we going to do that next week? And are you going to trust us to do it again next week? That's our brand.
It's interesting. I think we both have similar agency experiences where we define brand as we would go into a conference room with a whiteboard and start talking about missions and taglines and logos and all of this external stuff to apply to a brand. But
Right.
really, the definition of a brand, the best definition of a brand bubbles up from the promises and services, and as you said, the trust that it engenders from the community.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right. So, what would you say to somebody in our business who, when you talk to them about a brand and they're saying, well, you know what? I'm so heads down with providing a service, providing a resource, providing a product. I don't have time. I'm too busy to worry about my brand, to build my brand. What would you say to them?
Um, I actually respect that from operator perspective, right? It's this is a industry full of passion for flying. So a lot of individuals operating these businesses want to be flying, want to be working on the aircraft, and want to be, flying cargo, flying packs. That said, if you don't focus on that unique piece of trust that you're building, something special you're delivering beyond the basic, all you're selling is a nameless jug of milk, and you're handing over all the control to brokers and to resellers of your service. Because really at that point, your 135 operation is at parity with every single other one out there, and they are considered interchangeable.
That's
So,
interesting because a brand is
the-
not going to fix
uh,
something that's wrong.
right, and the result of that is actually one of the critical items for all 135 operators, and that is becomes a race to the bottom on pricing. Because if everybody is considered to be exactly the same, there is no unique differentiation. There's no, hey, I'm willing to pay a little bit more because I get a better experience or I trust this operator more, right? All the reflection of building a reputable brand name or reputable brand out of your operation. You end up selling a commodity in a service that is anything but.
Yurka, you and I are both members of the NATA Partner Plus program, proud members. What are you looking to gain from that association in the long term?
I think there's a couple of things to the program, and we are a little bit unique, right? We're a big part of our team was directly a part of NATA for many, many years. We still partner with the organization. So besides getting something out of it, for us, to a degree, it's also a sign of the fact that we're supporting a partner that we used to share a name with, but we still share a mission with. And that is providing a reliable outcome and improving the outcome for these or for the entire industry from at least safety and security and compliance perspective. Now, of course, beyond that, from the filling the gap between trust and verify, now we changed our name, but what I want to make sure, as a part of being a partner with an ATA, is that the industry continues to trust us, continues to trust the fact that we bring in experts that have their back, that when they call us, we pick up the phone when they have an inspection, we pick up the phone and help them out. and that the technology that we build is not checking a box, but it's looking at what's around the corner, right? What's the next threat? What's the next safety issue? What is the next security issue? What is the next reg coming down the pipeline so we can be ahead of it and we can help this industry succeed.
It's
And
interesting. Interesting.
being part of the program is reinforcing that message over and over and over because we need to continue to verify and not just ask for trust.
And if somebody asks me what I get out of it, I would just say, listen to what Yurka just said, what he said. How do people get in touch with you?
Pretty much anything from Slack to phone to email. You can use my first name dot last name at airterra.com, jiri.marousek. Super easy to spell, I know. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me at almost every other industry event. And of course, next few I'll be at ACI coming up, um, visiting our airports friends. I think NATA has a couple of events coming up that I'll be at. So I'm looking forward to connecting with anybody who wants to talk safety, security, compliance, or motorcycles. I'm fine with that too.
Great. Yurka, I appreciate the time, and I know our fellow NATA members will appreciate it as it's great to demystify this five-letter word called brand. Thank you. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time with another interesting brand story from NATA. And in the meantime, be well.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric.